Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I'm going to talk about a subject similar to the use of force, but really escalation of force. And you could be out in public, you could be at your house, it could be because of a riot, because of anything. But we need to know when do we use the force, and it might not be immediately go to a gun, go to a deadly force. We need to mentally go through this list. Now, it could go from the first one to the using deadly force in a split second, or you could go through them all. And this is going to do a few things. This is going to, in your mind, hey, I'm going to escalate the force until I have to use deadly force. Or maybe I can escalate the force and, hey, it solved the problem, the person left, or the situation is under control. So I don't have to pull my weapon out and discharge it. So this is a combination of what I've learned in the military, what I've sort of modified for preppers or for the average civilian out there. It's escalation of force. Might not always be pull the firearm out and use deadly force. First one is stand and be seen. Stand. It might be a riot. It could be a turmoil situation outside your house. And maybe the mere presence of you out there observing the people doing it could stop it. Maybe they leave you alone and they go somewhere else because they know they're being observed. Stand and be seen. There would be sometimes where you don't want to be standing out there and being seen. If there's a riot, or if it's a racial problem and you're a white person with a black mob, or if you're a black individual with a white mob, you might not want to be seen. Stand and be seen. Next is shout. A warning. Shout to them. Maybe if you have some type of siren, set it off. Maybe they'll leave because of that. Maybe if you have a bullhorn, you can project your warning farther out there to give you more time to react. So shouting. Next is show. The mere presence of your firearm. Now some people say if you're going to pull your firearm out, you got to use it. In the military, I've showed my weapon many times in actual a combat situation or an urban situation. And the mere presence of being there, having your weapon at the ready to go, has de-escalated or forced people to go other places. In the civilian world, a lot of people say, hey, if you draw your weapon out, you better be ready to use it. So just a mere presence. The 12 gauge shotgun, when you rack a 12 gauge, people know what that is, and it's a very scary sound. So show your weapon. Next, you've got to keep escalating it. It's going to turn into a shove, and this could be a physical shove. Putting hands on. It could be a non-lethal form. It could be using some type of tear gas or CS gas to de-escalate the situation, but it's more of a line of non-lethal. When you start the shoving part, and it might be a strike, but it's an actual where you're putting hands on or doing something, you need to start on soft tissue. If you have a baton, if you have a club, don't immediately strike at the head if you don't have to. If the situation says, yes, I have to use deadly force right now or I'm going to get killed or seriously injured, then use it. But if you can take it and strike a muscle, strike the arm, strike the leg, not in a joint but in actual muscle, the buttocks. Now, after that, if that's not going to work to de-escalate it, you increase it. So you might have to strike the collarbone. You might need to strike the elbow or the knee. If that's not working, then you're going to have to strike somewhere else. The eye, the ear, the back of the head, the spine. This is more in the realm of, hey, this is deadly force. I'm trying to put this guy down, not using a firearm, but I'm justified in using a club, a baton, and you're going to be striking areas that could cause definitely death or serious injuries. Next is shoot. You've tried everything else. You've gone through the list in your head. You're trying to de-escalate the situation so you don't have to use deadly force. Shooting. That could include a warning shot. In the military, we've done warning shots, and they've worked. They've forced people to go back to where we want them to go. In the civilian world, if you have a concealed weapons permit, a warning shot in an everyday situation is probably not what you're going to use, but maybe in a riot, maybe in a raw event without rule of law or SHTF, the crap has hit the fan, a warning shot could be all that it takes to de-escalate the situation. If that doesn't work, you're going to shoot to stop the threat. if you can shoot a vehicle and disable it, and that was the threat, then shoot the vehicle. If you can not shoot the driver, but typically under a stressful situation where you're discharging your weapon into a vehicle, the chances of those bullets getting into the driver's compartment where he is very high. But if you can shoot the vehicle, stop it, de-escalate it from there, do that. Next, you're going to just shoot to kill. You've gone through everything. And this list, you could go through it and take a little bit of time as you go through it, or you could start from the first one is just because you're standing there to a split second you are protecting yourself or others by using deadly force. So it's the escalation of force. If you have a prepper group, go over this so people understand. So if someone's on guard duty and all of a sudden they see something happening and they just shoot them, no, maybe they can go through that escalation of force, and you might not have to use deadly force. This could be very fluid. In some cases, you might skip a few of them and go down further. Maybe not hit the deadly force, but you got to do something drastically quickly. So hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching.